Eyes became a form of body armor. In the Spy Museum, we call the mask a 5-second mask. They proved invaluable. You could change your ethnicity, you could change your gender, you could change your nationality, and if you needed to, you could actually become another person. You could change your ethnicity, you could change your gender, you could change your nationality, and if you needed to, you could actually become another person.
You could change your ethnicity, you could change your gender, you could change your nationality, and if you needed to, you could actually become another person.
When I was chief of disguise, we had already begun using Hollywood stunt double masks. That was a technology that came straight out of LA.
Straight out of LA, she says. Now look how good these faces are. This is the 1960s. There is a reason they went from doing the face mask in Hollywood to CGI, because they didn't want you to know how good they got. And we're just getting this information now. Years later, 50 years later, we're getting the information to show you that Hollywood and CIA been working together. So you watch what you are looking at. So now it calls the question of things going on at the time. Like, let's take a look at the so-called haunted houses and the abductions that were going on at this time. The LSD trips, which the CIA has already admitted that they was infiltrating groups and giving them LSD as experiments, they say. So when we're putting all this together, the CIA had face masks to make people look like they're totally different people. The CIA did LSD experiments on people. This is all around the same time. So everything around that time has to be called into question. That's when the house haunting started coming out, all to get you away from the Bible, all to put doubt in you, to be thinking about mysticism or something else other than the Most High God. It's not like we don't have enough to worry about, and I'm not trying to freak anybody out or make anybody paranoid, but there's a reason we arranged marriages back in the day. Now, to Tricky Dicky and the ever-changing faces of this man. I want you to look deep into this right now and see this big head, little bodied man and understand that this man 100% has a face mask on. I ain't never in my life met somebody whose face and head was like this ever. So if you ain't seen the Michael Jackson video, go check that out. If you haven't seen the Beatles video, go check that out. I got C.I.A. face masks about them too. And something is very odd with Nixon, and he's always looked weird. I'm going to give you guys another clue. Look around his head where the mask starts, right there, up in the corner around that man's head. There's some static. A lot of people call it a hologram. I'm here to tell you, that is digitally done. It happens today. So, in other words, the world gets better at all this stuff all the time. But when it comes to videotaping, there happens to be blur in certain situations even now. That is somebody whose makeup is falling apart, somebody whose mask is falling apart, or somebody who they're trying to stop from being exposed.
I made my mistakes, but in all of my years of public life, I have never profited from public service. I've earned every cent. And in all of my years of public life, I have never obstructed justice. And I think, too, that I can say that in my years of public life, that I welcome this kind of examination, because people have got to know whether or not their president's a crook. Well, I'm not a crook. I've earned everything I've got. President? Yes,
this is all for show. Now let's examine the wrinkles around his face, the wrinkles around the smile. I know people older than him, I've never seen that crease in the face. It's like a circle that goes from the jawline around to the face, stops at the nose. I believe that nose is fake. I believe that chin is fake. And I also believe in, like in all the cases with somebody that's using a face mask, it's usually 2 or 3 different people. Now, if the huge oversized chin, which to a man makes you think this guy is strong because he got the big chin. It did them dark black eyes. Later on your guy to the right too, which I believe had a face mask on too, and I will be doing a video on Elvis next. Now this Nixon, I believe, is a totally different person. And he still doesn't look right. Now, I do a lot of study. I know people is going to talk, your angles will change this, your angles will change that, and I understand that. I know the people that think that there's multiple actors playing one, multiple people playing different parts of people, but I believe it's multiple people playing one part. I believe in some cases the other could be true. But man, there's no way that this is a real guy. I mean, this guy was brought up in this plan. He lived this life his whole... No, this is an actor. This is all a play. All to deal with your mental. All to put you into a place where they can manipulate you. It's the emotional roller coaster. And if you cut your emotions off, that's 25% of breaking the grips of the Matrix. Now, hints are always given. And they sell these Nixon masks. Nixon mask is one of the most popular masks, as is the Ronald Reagan one, the only president mask you really see. I remember there was a movie where they was running around robbing banks in a Nixon and Reagan mask, you know what I'm saying? But America always kind of gives you a hint of what's going on. They show you enough to let you know how it is foul. And that's why tapes like this have been leaked.
I don't usually I found close by. Except there's just this strange malignancy, you know, that seems to creep among them. I don't know, radicalism. Very interesting thing. So few of those who engage in espionage are Negroes. Very lucky out there. As a matter of fact, very few of them become communists. But the Negroes, have you ever noticed? There's very few Negro spies. Not intellectual enough. Not smart enough. It may be. Not smart enough to be spies. The Jews, intellectual enough. The Jews are born spies. You know, so many of them are just in it, up to their necks. Well, I've got a basic deviousness that... Well, also an arrogance. An arrogance that says, that's what makes us money. He puts himself above the law.
Now, I want you guys to pay attention to this plastic, rubbery, fake-looking face. When you know what to look for, you know how to spot it. Now, that recording was all about exposing what the government is doing to the world to keep this TV show going. You know what? There are a lot of racist people in America. And please believe when they heard that type of talk in the White House, it pleased them. And the other side of people that heard that type of talk, it upset them. There's two different things going on. The powers that be got our back. That's coming from one side, and the other side is saying the powers that be don't want nothing to do with us. They hate us. They want us gone. And they look at us a certain way. I think it's also not a coincidence that whenever Nixon is drawn, his features, they are way out of line or drawn that way. It's a hint to the people that this isn't a real person. This is why you really need the armor of God, because nothing on your television can be trusted. None of your officials can be trusted because they phony baloney. They aren't real. And it's time for all of us to wake up to what we're in the midst of and what we are supporting. Because if you go into them ballots, you going in there voting, your vote means nothing. It's been proven time and time again that your vote means nothing. It's you participating in this wickedness. You participating in the play. You're no longer just an audience goer, you're a participant of the play when you have these arguments about politics. Now, if you look at his face right here, it's obvious where the mask where the mask begins. You can see that a child could see. They didn't expect this technology to be out here where you can pause, you can zoom in, and all this stuff. But that man is wearing a mask, and that hair is fake. That part. The wrinkles don't add up. The big head, skinny neck, small body doesn't add up. Something is not quite right with President Nixon. C.I.A. face mask.